ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं वादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेद विभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। वर्ष नंबर 314। संसार बंध विच्छित्यै तद्द्वयं प्रदहेत् यतिः वासना वृद्धिरेताभ्यां चिंतया क्रियया बहिः। Repeat one more time. संसार बंध विच्छित्यै तद्द्वयं प्रदहेत् यतिः वासना वृद्धिरेताभ्यां चिंतया क्रियया बहि. The translation is, in order to snap the chain of transmigration, one should burn to ashes these two, selfish desire and actions. For dwelling on sense objects and doing selfish actions lead to increase of vasanas or desires. See one more time translation. For the sake of breaking the chain of transmigration, the yati should burn to ashes those two, for by thinking of sense objects and doing selfish acts lead to an increase of desires. Thought is continue. Shankaracharya says, a seeker one thing has to be done, and that is destruction of selfish work and thinking of sense objects. Here, Shankaracharya used very special words. He says yati. Yati means it is very special, very relevant word. Yati means the one who has not reached it, his goal, but he is striving very hard. He is working without rest, continuously. And the person who has faith in his path, who has faith in the master, who has faith in the scriptures, and has eagerness to achieve the goal. For that person, you can call yati, who is striving for his goal. If you can help him in any way, if we can help that person if any way, it will be great virtue. It is a great opportunity for a human being to serve any such seeker, such a person, because they are making their whole effort to attain their goal, and goal is the greatest. They are one focused mind, They do not want to think any other object. So that is why in India, we run Annakshetra, Bhiksha for them. Their basic needs, like food, like clothes, we should give them. In Upanishads, there is quote, Bhutikamo Brahmanishtham Upasita. The person who wants bhuti, prosperity, he should worship a Brahman, Brahmanishtha, a seeker, a yati. And like Shankaracharya, who is realized person, he can help other way. Shankaracharya, a realized person, a master, can not give the clothes, the bhiksha. They helps them by showing the path. So Shankaracharya giving instructions to like such seeker, he says there are two things which has to be done. One is thinking of sense objects, and second is selfish act. Thinking about selfish. Here, selfish work and action means when we think about body, when we think about a particular body. I think about this body because this body belongs to me. I act for this body because this body belongs to me. So our thinking, our all acting are oriented from the body. If we think again and again such a way, and we do act such a way, body centered, then identification of the body will be continued. Because within and without, both sides, we are working for the body, and our body identifications becomes more stronger. The, the thinking about the body and acting about the body, they complement each other. They make strong each other. Shankaracharya says, seeker has to be destroy them. They are cause for vasanas. As we last discourse discussed, as Sri Krishna said, dhyayato vishayan punsa shangasteshu upajayate. The cause of attachment is thinking about objects. And they are cause for vasanas. Our inner thinking and outer acting for the body will create vasanas, impressions, and impressions creates thought. And thus a circle happens. First we think within, then we try to actualize our thought, and this thought and thinking produce new desires. So Shankaracharya says, for a seeker, the circle has to be broken. Pradayet yati. Pradayet, completely. Completely. Vasana vritthiretabhyam chintaya kriya. Chintaya, the thinking, and kriya, by acting. Now next one. ताभ्याम प्रवर्धमाना सासूते संसृतिमात्मनः त्रयाणां च क्षयोपाया सर्वावस्थासु सर्वदा. I repeat. ताभ्याम प्रवर्धमाना सासूते संसृतिमात्मनः त्रयाणां च क्षयोपाया सर्वावस्थासु सर्वदा. See the translation. Nourished by these two, thoughts and selfish actions, the vasanas further produce one's transmigration. These three, however, are destroyed by looking upon everything under all circumstances always. Here two verses are together, but I will take one by one. See the meaning another way. Augmented by these two, desires produce one's transmigration. The way to destroy these three, however, lie in looking upon everything under all circumstances always. Shankaracharya says, body-centered thoughts and body-centered actions will augment desires. Desires for objects. In previous verse, we have studied yati. Yati also acting. Yati means who is striving. But striving for? Striving for what? For reality. And when we struggling for the world, it becomes desire. And nature of the desires is, in Gita, Sri Krishna said, Kama esha krodha esha rajo gun samudbhava mahasanu mahapatma viddhen miha bairinam. Very subtle mental process. Very subtle. Look at its nature. What desire is? What the nature of the desire? Lord Sri Krishna says, Arjuna, desire consumes everything and it corrupts everything. Desire can consume whole the world, it would be hungry, unfulfilled. Its nature is desire means wanting. There is no stop, no region. Without region, you want food, is a requirement. You want clothes, requirement. Requirement and desire are different. So Krishna says, then by nature desires are always incomplete. You cannot fulfill them. It is like this. Like we see the horizon. When we are in open sky and we can see far away, it appears like the sky and earth is touching each other. Sky and earth is touching each other. It looks very beautiful. In the ocean, in the desert, there is no any obstacle. Then our eyes goes far away and it appears sky and earth is touching each other. And if we try to go there, we reach there and there is nothing. There is nothing. But from there, same phenomenon will appear in same distance. It will appear always. But distance will remain the same. No matter how effort we do to reach there. It makes no difference. Like same way, desires looks, if I will get this one, then I will be completed. Every time this thought has come and gone. Every time this type thoughts comes and goes. We think after this work, I would be retired. After this work, I would be retired. But no. Once desire will one desire we fulfill, next moment 10 desires will come to be fulfilled. When one desire is completed, we becomes happy. And we think our delusion is, I am happy because I got something. I am happy because which I wanted, I got it. So I am happy. Shankara says no. Think deeply. You will find another thing. This is not real. You are not happy because you got something. You are not happy because you have achieved something. It is because one desire has gone. Like, and desire, one desire, no matter what is object of the desire. Object is not matter. Shankaracharya says, all spirituality says, objects is not matter. Matter is your desire, your understanding. Your desire may be for a small hut, or your desire may be for all kingdom, a big kingdom. A single desire can make you unhappy. Single desire. When we think, I'm happy because I got something, Shankaracharya says, no, think deeply. You are not happy because you have got something. You are happy because one desire has gone from you. You are at least one desire has lost. So this desirelessness state has come. So think, one desire has gone, another desires are waiting to come. There is space, very small space. And through that space, you can see your nature. You are in rest. This is the happiness. Happiness means one desire has gone, another is about to come. They are ready to come. But very small gap. This gap you can say desirelessness. This desirelessness will give us happiness. One desire has fulfilled, but it will produce 10 more desires. Then we start making effort to fulfill them. Then they produce thousands. And one life is not enough for them. We take another life, and another life, and another life. We caught in trap of samsara. Shankaracharya says, ताभ्याम प्रवर्धमाना ससूते संस्कृतिमात्मना. This is the method go to sansar. Now, three things has been identified. Three things. These are sense objects. These are sense thinking centered, body centered. One thing is thinking of body centered thinking and body centering acting, and third one is desires. Kriya, chintaya, and desires. I repeat again. Body centered thinking, body centered acting, and then automatically they will produce desires. These three things are cause for transmigration for an individual. So this is the cause. Now question is how to overcome, how to remove them, how to control them. This is the big question. Here he's giving some methods. It should be practiced by a seeker. He says, Trayanam Kshayopayah Sarvasu Avasthasu Sarvada. Someone want to liberation, enlightenment, the seeker should Kshaya, remove these three, destroy these three. And it is a very, very simple. In whatever condition we are, whatever circumstances we are, and wherever we are, we can start this practice. Do not wait for any special condition, special place, special circumstances, because this is mental practice. You are not going to anywhere. This is not rituals. We do some rituals when we wait for proper timing, some objects. But for this practice, we do not know any, we do not require anything. We do not want any object. Any age group can do that. Any order of life, because it is not distant from you. And the most important thing is everyone has a right to be happy. Everyone has right. He should be happy and absolute happy. Here, Shankaracharya says, time, distance, conditions, circumstances, age, cost, anything is not obstacle. So simple. You are free always. It is so easy. You are getting absolute happiness without paying nothing, without waiting. In this world, we pay something for very small thing. You can get absolute happiness without paying nothing. Now, next one. Then I combine both verses. सर्वत्र सर्वता सर्व ब्रह्म आत्मा ब्रह्म मात्रावलोकन ही सद्भाव वासना दार्ढ्यात् तत्त्रयम् लयम् अश्नुते. I repeat. सर्वत्र सर्वता सर्व ब्रह्म मात्रावलोकन ही सद्भाव वासना दार्ढ्यात् तत्त्रयम् लयम् अश्नुते. The meaning is everywhere and in all respects as Brahman and Brahman alone, through the strengthening of the longing to be one with Brahman, those three will be annihilated. Everywhere, in all respects, as Brahman and Brahman alone, through the strengthening of longing to be one with Brahman, those three are annihilated. These three: selfish work, selfish acting, and desires. Only thing is, today's topic, very important, and this is Brahmavalokanam. See the Brahman. Today's topic essence is Brahma Matravalokanai. Longing to be one with Brahman, see the Brahman. To understand this process, I would like to share some part of Mahabharata. Because there are so many confusions about divine vision. If you want to see divine, your vision must be divine. Divine cannot be seen by this ordinary vision. Ordinary vision can see only ordinary things, and Brahman is not ordinary. You are not ordinary. So, I give some small examples to make you understand. In Mahabharata, there are three incidents. Three persons who had divine visions. First was Sanjay. You know about Sanjay? Sanjay was personal secretary for Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra was blind by birth. He could not see anything. He did not have any idea about color, about shape. When Mahabharata war was ready to be fight, he told Vyasa. Vyasa was the incarnation of God. So he said to Vyasa, I want to see this fight because this fight is mine. This fight is related to me, my children, My all existence is stuck on this fight. So I want to see. Vyasa said, okay, I can give the vision. You can see that. He said, no, I don't want to see it directly. I want just listen. So you can give divine vision, my secretary, Sanjay. And he will explain everything to me. Vyasa agreed. And Vyasa granted divine vision to Sanjay. Not only divine vision, along with divine vision, he given allow divine sound to, divine ears to. So he can, by this vision, he can listen, he can see. So Sanjay was giving running commentary to the Rashtra, what is happening in the fighting, the war. Bhishma was doing this, Arjuna is doing this. He was explaining everything. Now my point is, by this divine vision, Sanjay is not watching divinity. By this divine eyes, Sanjay could not see the divine nature of the God. He is watching Bhishma, Arjuna, arrow, chariots, horse, and the difference was only he could see from the palace, but he could see only gross objects, subtle bodies. And another incident is when Lord Sri Krishna was addressing Arjuna to Gita, he was giving some message. And once Arjuna said to Lord, "Oh Lord, you had said me about your splendor, your glory. Now I want to see you. Now I want to see you directly. Now see." Arjuna was the best friend of Krishna. Best friend. They knew each other very well. They used to sit together, eat together, walk together, fight together, and sitting together. But Arjuna says, I want to see you. So what? It means Arjuna knew, I am watching Lord, but this is not real his nature. Arjuna said, I want to see your real nature. Lord said, yes, okay. Divyam dadami te chakshu pasyame yoga maisharam. I am giving to you divine vision, divine eyes. Then you can see my divine nature. By ordinary eyes, you cannot see my divine nature. And Lord Krishna granted divine eyes to Arjuna, and Arjuna saw the glory of the God. Now see, Sanjay also had divine eyes. Arjuna also had divine eyes. And both using with them, but their knowledge was very different. Sanjay was watching Yudhishthira, Bhim, Arjun, chariots, horse, and Arjun was wanting very different. And third incident is in Mahabharata war. The war was ready to be done, and that time we can say that this was the First World War. World War. So that time, war was open invitation for everyone. Anyone can come, anyone can fight. So there were so many kings, they come and join. Anyone can come. So in Mahabharata war, so many kings came and they took their side. Some became towards Pandavas, some became towards Kauravas. And suddenly, one day, Krishna saw there is a great warrior. His name was Barbarik. Barbarik. This story is very interesting. I don't have too much time, but the story is very interesting. My point is about only vision. So Krishna realized that some great warrior is coming for fighting. And he was great. So Krishna changed his form and he became a Brahman, a priest, and just appeared before the warriors. Obviously, he is priest, so the Varavarik did namaskar. After rituals, he said, Krishna told him, who are you? He said, my name is Varavarik. Krishna told, where are you going? What's the purpose? He said, I am going to fight Mahabharata war. Again Krishna asked, from which side? He said, it is not fixed. I am not decided it. My mother has said to me, which side is going to defeat? You fight from that side. So I should wait. Then Krishna said, everyone want to take victorious side. Why you're not? He said, I have 3 arrows which were given by Lord Shiva to me, and I can defeat any army by 3 arrows. Krishna says, okay, now show me, give me proof. They were talking under a banyan tree. He said, look at that tree. I take one arrow and I can destroy all leaves. I can make hole in every leaves. Krishna said, okay, show me. And one leaf, Krishna pluck and he hide by his feet. And he start showing his arrow, and when he shot it, every leaf has a hole. Even the leaf which was hidden by the Krishna, that leaf also was with hole. So Krishna said, really you are good, great warriors. But I want to know, are you great donor too? He said, yes. What do you want? Krishna said, I am Brahman. I want something from you. First, give me promise. He says, yes, I will give you whatever you want. Then Krishna said, give your head. I want your head. He said, yes, I will give you. But now tell me, who are you? Krishna said, I am Krishna. He appears in real form. He said, Krishna, as I promised to you, I will give you my head. Definitely, I will not fight this war, but I want to see it. Krishna said, okay, no problem. I can manage it. And he gave his head to Krishna. And Krishna took his head and he put a heighted point. And Krishna gave divine vision to that person, that head, to see the Mahabharata. So in Mahabharata war, there were three divine eyes were working. One was with Sanjay, another was with Arjuna, and third one was with this person Varvarik. We all know about Sanjay and Arjuna. This third one is not so popular. But I will give you some introduction about this. When Mahabharata war over, Arjuna says, I won the war. Bhim says, I won this war. I killed this one. I killed that one. Lord Sri Krishna says, don't be proud. I have video recording. I put closed circuit TV so we can watch it. Everyone becomes surprised. Closed circuit TV. He says, yes, advanced technology. And they went to the head and they asked, what did you see? Who was killing? He said, I did not see any Arjuna. I did not see any Bhima. I did not see any Bhisma. I saw only there was a disc, a Sudarsana Chakra. You can call that Kal Chakra. And one divine lady, it may be Draupadi. Only two things were happening there. There were no Bhisma, no Arjuna, no Bhima, nothing. So now see, my point is, three eyes. One was with Sanjay. Sanjay was watching. Arjuna is there. Bhim is there. Charioteers are there. Elephants are there. And Arjuna is watching by his divine eyes, Lord Sri Krishna's divine nature. And this person is, this head is watching another view. These three eyes was watching Mahabharata and their different angles, different perspective. So divine eyes does not mean you are watching divinity. Divine eyes means you may be in another state. Like science is medium of knowledge. By science, we can know the object, gross object. By science, we can explore deep and deep object. And another point is religion. Religion is not science, but religion is science. Religion is another science. It is science of subtle world. Religion is science of subtle world. It will describe you about heaven, hell, sin, virtue. Religion can describe it. So religion is also another science, another different level science. But here, Brahmavalokana Matre, it is by science we can explore gross object. By religion, we can explore subtle object. But our point still is object. Here, Shankaracharya is giving point to you. I am not thinking about object. I am thinking about the self. Brahma avalokana, Brahma matra avalokana. You develop your vision for watching the Brahman. First start realizing that now see the how to make it. First you start from yourself. It is the best place. For spirituality, you are the best place. For the spirituality, you are the best point. You start from yourself. You think about yourself. In the very beginning, we accept that you are the body. I am the body. But slowly, slowly think you are body, that's right. But you are not only body, you are more than body. It's okay, you are body, no problem. But you are not only body, you are more than something more than body. Because of that something, your body is working. Something must be inside. And that which is something is not inert. As our hand is inert, leg is inert, every body's part is inert, by which our all parts is working. And that is not inert. So you are not only body, you are the body plus something. And something which is inside, this is the conscious. It's not inert. Then same what apply with another body, with your friend, your mother, your father, sister, husband, wife. They are also body, but not only body, body plus something. And which something is not inert, which something is conscious. So consciousness is in me, and same consciousness is another body too. And this thought create more space. All human beings have same condition. They are body plus something. This is the practice for you. Then take animals. Animals are like elephant, lion, dogs. They are body plus something. And something is consciousness. Then take creatures, insects. They are also body plus something. Then take plants, trees. They are body plus something. If you can do that, slowly, slowly, it becomes bright. Understanding becomes clear. Then you can understand the reality which is in your within. The same reality should be in stone too. In a stone, there is also same reality. The only point is there is not medium for expression. But reality, the consciousness is the same. And same reality, not in this earth, the same consciousness is in the moon. When men reached the first time in the moon, they were very happy because they did not find their God. They were very happy because they were afraid because of God. And they see, they hear, God, they become so happy. Thank God there is no God. Anywhere you go, you will not find God. By this vision, by this eye is ordinary eye, wherever you go, your vision will go with you. You may go moon, you may go sun, you may go another galaxies. With these eyes, you cannot find the God. If we can change our vision, in Sanskrit there is a saying, a very beautiful saying, very beautiful. Drishtim brahmamayam kritva passet brahmamayam jagat. Change your vision from object to the self and see the whole world is Brahman. Sarvam khal idam Brahma. Slowly, slowly, the something which was within you, that consciousness is in the sun, that consciousness is the moon, that consciousness is the galaxies, and wherever you can think, wherever your mind can go, give freedom to mind. Give freedom. Say to mind, wherever you want to go, you go. Because wherever you will go, God is there. Brahman is there. If you are devotee, then you see your God is there everywhere. Your God is in the moon, sun, Mars, galaxies, everywhere, everywhere. Every phenomenon is full of the God. Shankaracharya's word is very wonderful. Brahma Matravalokanai. You start watching just Brahman, and then you will see all your problems will solve. Your desires, your action, which was oriented from the body, your thinking, which was oriented from the body, all will destroyed. Now, last one. Kriya nase bhave chinta naso asmadvasana kshaya vasana prakshayo moksha sa jivan mukti ruchyate. I repeat one more time. Kriya nase bhave chinta naso asmat vasana kshaya vasana prakshayo moksha sa jivan mukti rishyate. The meaning is, with the end of selfish actions, brooding over sense objects ends, which is followed by destruction of vasanas. The final destruction of vasanas is liberation. This is regarded as liberation in life. Is the meaning. With the cessation of selfish action, the brooding on sense objects is stopped, which is followed by the destruction of desire. The destruction of desire is liberation, and this is considered as liberation in life. Very beautiful thought for practice. Shankaracharya says, thus, seeing everywhere Brahman, the selfness thought will end. Body-oriented thoughts ends because there is no body-centered thoughts. There is no body-centered activity. But they are not cause So your thought is not body oriented, our actions are not body oriented, they will not create desires. Kriya nase bhave chinta nasu. And very, very important word he is saying now. Distractions of the desires is liberation. Liberation, what? You are desire free. You have created boundaries for yourself by yourself. Destruction of the desires. You have no desire, you are not bound. See, and he's saying that desirelessness is liberation, and that liberation is liberation in life. If you don't have any desire, you are free. You are afraid because of desire. You are in bondage because of desire. We are in misery because of desire. This is liberation in life, Jivan Mukta. Don't wait for death. You are not going anywhere. You are capable, deserve for happiness every time. Why should wait for death? Liberation in life. You are living with the body, but you are liberated. And this condition you will enjoy with your body. You can enjoy your eyes, your sense organs. You can enjoy everything. No one can make you miserable. Your body will give you enjoyment. Every particle of the universe will give you enjoy. The whole universe will give you enjoy, because now universe is not universe. Universe is the Brahman. Universe is you. This is the liberation in life. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Vadarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.